On this week's show, we discuss Georgia's struggle win over Auburn 27-20. Also, we preview the big time matchup with Georgia versus Kentucky. We have a great special guest this week, British Bulldawg from Twitter, and he talks about him becoming a diehard Georgia fan as he's from Scotland, which has been a great journey for him. Go Cheerio and go Dogs. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. That'll really help us out. How are we doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Trey?
Doing pretty well.
Good.
First off, Georgia does get the win yesterday,
Mhm.
stressful win
Mm.
over Auburn, 27-20. Tough road environment.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers, I was
Oh,
calling him Captain America yesterday.
mm.
Heisman Trophy performance. He's 8 catches, 157 yards, and his touchdown. So yeah, he played pretty well. But yeah, just wanted to get your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Bowers is a superstar, isn't he? I was joking that, I could knight him. I could make him Sir Brock. He is
Right.
incredible. He put in a great performance when it was needed last night. I thought the game yesterday was a bit of a throwback to sort of the Georgia of the past. However, it's sort of as we said, that the sign of a good champion is, not playing your best but still winning. And we're still unbeaten. So you can only take positives from that, and I think it'll be a pretty tasty game on Saturday against Kentucky.
Yeah, I know it was a tough road environment, but I thought Carson Beck kind of grew up a little bit. He
Mm-hmm.
played pretty well, had his back against the wall.
Yeah,
Want to get your thoughts on how he thought Carson Beck played.
I I think he played well. I think he's got better as each game has gone on, which I think is all you can ask for of a quarterback. There's a lot of pressure to come into a a two-time national championship winning football team having not started a game before. So I think he's doing as well as he can do, and in Kirby we trust. So I'm happy to keep rolling the dice with him.
Yeah, he's done pretty well. He did have one touchdown, but still 23 of 33, 313. Drove him down the field. I think there was one time they were started on the 2 yard line. He went 98 yards. So that was very impressive. Went to Brock Bowers when he had to. I thought Lad McConkey had some key catches, even though he's been
Yeah,
out the other
great.
4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Dejon Edwards, 9 rushes, 76 yards. The running game got going. I had to be real picky. I was really kind of really surprised how Auburn was able to run the ball. They had over 219 yards because Georgia's really usually really stout against the run. And then
Yeah.
Peyton Thorne was having a lot of quarterback runs and everything. So that was a little disappointing. Hopefully we can clean that up. But all in all, still a great win on the road. 5-0. I know a lot of people are saying maybe not the number one ranked team, but still good to be undefeated.
Well, absolutely. Two-time champions, undefeated. We're up there. And the
Right.
more tests that we get, the better we'll get to.
Right. And then back to your story. Just wanted to get your journey on actually becoming a
Yeah.
Georgia fan, and I believe you're currently living in Scotland. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I live in Edinburgh in Scotland. I've been here for 11 years, originally from the south of England.
That's awesome. Well, how did you even come across maybe Georgia being so far away, or what's your journey on being a fan?
Yeah, and I didn't know it was so unusual for like a European person to follow college football. When I actually first started that Twitter account, it was called Georgia Bulldog Fans at UK. Thinking that will be a whole community of us, um, but there's not that many. So my journey started in about 2014, which was towards the end of Mark Richt's tenure. Um, and around about that point, a lot of my friends were getting heavily into the NFL, and we've seen how well the NFL promotes itself internationally with the London games that have been, as one this afternoon, wasn't there? With the way that they play those games and they promote themselves.
Right.
So I started off watching NFL, but I couldn't really connect to it. I can't connect to these franchises that can move from city to city to city. Where does that leave you as a fan if your team's going to just move away like that? So there's a little disconnect from the way that we follow sport in this country, where you'll probably pick your local team, you stick with that team through thick and thin.
Right.
Uh, And eventually, I just came across college football. It was college game day actually that I had on my TV network, and I kind of just fell in love with college football first, and started to learn a lot more about it. And it's the most similar thing to the way that we follow sports in the UK. That passion and that pageantry. Around about that point, 2014, it was a good Georgia team, but it wasn't an elite Georgia team.
Mm.
So at that point, it was the running backs coming through. So you had Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. I think probably would have been in their first years. That is 2014. And Todd Gurley would have been finishing up, but I don't think he finished that season. So it was a really exciting team to watch. And I think I must have just watched a game, seen how passionate people were about it, and seen all the tradition, which really connected with me. And from there, it's kind of just become an obsession. Here we are, sort of 9 years later.
That's great. That's a great journey that you became, and glad you're a big Dogs fan. And how does it make you feel to have such a great following on Twitter and X? I think you were able to have I think a local television station did a story on you, and you have many
Yeah,
followers. So how's that been? That
it's
whole
it's been incredible.
yeah,
And the main reason I started that Twitter account was to interact with other fans because of the timings and the time difference. Quite often, if it's a night game, 7 o'clock kick in
right,
Georgia, it's going to be midnight where I am. So I'm in the dark on my own
right.
watching the games. So it's brilliant to be able to interact with like-minded people and follow the game with people. And so that sort of has grown and grown, and I've built genuine real life friendships. I've met people, and it all sort of culminated in me going to my first game last year.
That's great. And tell me about your whole experience of going to, I think it was Kent State of last year, 2022, and Georgia got the win, the whole game day experience and tailgating. Tell us your experience on that.
Yeah, it was a dream come true. It was better than I could have anticipated. The sort of takeaway was like, I came for the team, but it was the people that left the lasting impression on me. The generosity and the hospitality of everyone that I met was amazing. And that was actually quite a tough game. I chose Kent State because it fit in my schedule. Knowing it's not the biggest opponent, but it
Right.
was quite tough at first that game. I was very worried I was going to be a curse on the team and I'd never be invited back.
Right. The Georgia games can be very stressful. So, but glad they got the win for you, and it was a great experience. Um, Georgia, we will be doing hopefully some drinking and coming up, and that'll be jumping right into our sponsor, Viva Tequila Seltzer.com. Zero carb, zero sugar. One of my favorites is watermelon. Great for tailgating. But if you want to get 20% off, it's Hustle 20. Again, that's Hustle 24, 20% off for VivaTequilaSeltzer.com. That's one of our great sponsors for this season for the podcast. Another thing I wanted to ask is there maybe a rival team or a hated team or that Georgia plays that you don't really like or you like really beating? No, it's good to win all the games. So maybe like a rival
Yeah,
you don't
yeah. I
really
mean,
prefer. Everybody has them.
yeah. Well, I mean, the traditional rival is obviously Auburn, and played them last night. But
Mm.
for me, it's been Alabama, the team that have
Yeah.
broken our hearts so many times. So
Oh, yeah.
to sort of vanquish those demons, it's been incredible.
Yeah, completely agree. I kind of prefer Florida, of course, because it's always a game. Auburn, I guess we've now beaten them 14 out of 15.
Yeah, yeah.
We got a good streak against them, so that's great. But yeah, I kind of see Alabama's maybe our nemesis
Mm.
because I think we're 1-7-1 against them. We did get them in the national title game, but it'd definitely be great to get Nick Saban one more time, maybe before he retires. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
definitely a good rival there. I agree with that. And then I know you're going to come to the upcoming game in Kentucky. What's your schedule look like this week? And are you kind of doing anything different this time? Kind of knowing how everything worked before being there last year.
Yeah, it's going to be busy. So I fly in late on Wednesday evening and I fly back on Monday morning. So I've only got 5 nights and I'm really trying to squeeze in as much as I can. So, that will be, meeting friends, people that I've met last time, going out for dinner in different spots around Athens, drinks. Um, it's a city that sort of offers so much where I would have to come five, six, 7 times to even start getting my way through the places and the things that you can do there.
That's awesome. And are you staying with any local friends there that you made, or got a hotel, or how
Yeah.
do
No, so I'm going to be staying with a guy called Dwight, who is on Twitter as Dawg. Dwight runs the Bulldog Battling Breast Cancer charity, or he's certainly sort of part of that management for that group. So I stayed with Dwight for much of my time last time, and this time I'll be with him for the duration. So Dwight's become quite a good friend, and we've actually worked together to do a collaborative charity shirt. So
That's
you know,
awesome.
I'm not sure if you know, but the way that I funded my trip the first time around was by selling t-shirts with this catchphrase "Cheerio" and "Go Dogs." It was purely from selling those shirts that I was able to raise the funds for the flight. So I kind of thought it was time to give back. So we've got this partnership where we've got that motto with the Bulldogs battling breast cancer logo, with any profits going to the charity for them.
That's awesome. That's a really great cause.
Yeah, thank you.
And then so we'll look at we got the Georgia Kentucky game coming up. Kentucky looked really great yesterday. Pretty much beating up on the Gators. I believe it was 33-14. I think their running back had well over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, I believe. So that's going to be a tough opponent. The
Mm-hmm.
early line for the game, I was looking earlier, is 16 and a half, which is very favorable.
Yeah,
That could change, and it's going to be 7 p.m. night game, so you'll
yeah,
definitely get to see the LED lights, which is cool.
I can't
But
wait.
very excited for that. So yeah, that should be pretty good. So what's your thoughts on the game? Maybe anything you're kind of worried about, or what do you think about the matchup?
Do you know what? Kentucky always play a tough game against Georgia, and they historically have had good running backs. So it's going to be stopping their running game, which is going to be the key to defeating them. Is a big advantage being at home in this one and at night time, because the atmosphere should lift that team along. And I think with the resiliency that they've been building over some difficult games, it's Georgia's to lose. This should be a turning point for me to show we are still the best team in the country, and we're going to go away.
Gotcha. And if you had to make a pick, or do you like doing predictions? What would be your predictions? I know we're early here in the week, but what would be your prediction for the game if you had to make one?
I think it'll be tight. Maybe tight at first and then pulling away in the stretch. So I think they'll get a couple of early touchdowns and we'll drag it back. So you're looking at something like 14-31, something like that.
Okay, 31-14. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it might be a little closer just because I think they're going to slow down the game, and I think they have one of the slowest offenses, and they are going to try to run the game,
Yeah.
run the ball, and kind of run work on the clock. Yeah, but I'm maybe seeing like 28-17, something similar like that. Not sure if they'll cover that 16 and a half, and I believe Georgia's not
Yeah.
covered this year, but
Mm.
as long as you get a W, that's all that matters. But yeah, we'll see.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to it. But a night game in Athens
Oh yeah,
is.
yeah. I'm thinking about planning on coming too as well, so I'm excited too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then Chris, I know you go by the British Bulldog on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. How does anybody else follow you on your on the socials?
Yeah, so I am exclusively on Twitter, now known as an X, and it is British Bulldog. There you go,
There you
British
go.
Bulldog, dog,
Right.
correct way, AWG. So yeah, I'm always happy to follow back any sort of fellow Georgia football fans.
That's great. And if anybody wants to maybe donate to your battling, that's your T-shirt um, website there.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the new design. You can go on the Bulldogs battlingBreastCancer.com website and just order it through there. There's two designs.
That's awesome.
Um, and there's pink and red, Cheerio and Go Dogs.
That's awesome. Well, it was a pleasure having you on today, Chris. Don't want to keep you
Thank
too much
you so much.
longer. And I hope you have safe travels. Maybe I'll possibly run into you, and hope you have a great visit to Georgia. The weather should be great, and it should be a great
Yeah.
game.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just let me know. I'm more than happy to grab a drink with you before the game. I can't wait.
That'd be great. And I really appreciate you coming on. Make sure if you're still sticking around, like, subscribe, and share the podcast for Dawg House Podcast. And give us your famous quote at the very end here.
Cheerio and go dogs.
Cheerio and go dogs. Go dogs. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you.